Can we beat Slay the Spire without adding a single card to our deck? Greetings, gentlemen and ladies, welcome back. Today we have a challenge issued by the community manager of Megacrit Games, Demi. The rules are simple. We are not allowed to add a single card to our deck. This includes duplications, transformations, and any relic that would permanently add cards to the deck. Temporary card potions are allowed, but I'm going to limit this to one only. On top of that, we're allowed to pick our character. Now, you might be asking yourself, how is this even possible? With only the starting deck available to us, there's no way we can defeat the bosses. However, it is possible. We've got a few successful challenge runs under our belt, and with Demi's motivating pep talk, nothing can stop us from beating this one too. So, sit back, get yourselves comfortable, for it's time. Time to climb. Climb time! Before we get locked into the run, I'm giving away 2 copies of Slay the Spire 2 when it releases. Details at the end of the video. We select the Watcher and are greeted by 2 choices. Enemies in the next 3 combats start with 1 HP, or increasing our max health by 7. I checked the map for any free elites. Not today. So we go with the extra health. The first floor kicks things off with a jawworm. He's very happy to see us, and after defending, he takes a bite. We set up Wrath the following turn before sending our strikes to finish him off. I inspect the card rewards before politely declining the offers. Floor 2 has a couple of louse, which we make quick work of. Whilst we couldn't get a card rewards, they did leave us with a Forge Potion, which will no doubt come in handy later in the run. Our first question mark event is the Big Fish, and we get offered a relic for a curse. This run, unlike the others, will allow us nearly full relic access. We make the trade and get Letter Opener, a great relic. This deals 5 damage to all enemies for every 3 skills we play. Next up are 2 slimes. I confidently enter Wrath Stance, and thanks to the other goop using debuffs over attacks, we strike him down next. Nice. Floor 5 has 3 aggressive louse, with each of them setting up for an attack. Mathematically, it's best to enter Wrath here to clear the front 2 louse. Take the 10 hits, then we can finish off the final louse after that. 17 gold gets pocketed before we move into our first rest site of the run. The first upgrade was a toss-up between Eruption and Vigilance. Reducing the cost to enter Wrath Stance to 1, yeah, that won me over here. The Watcher lends herself well to Act 1 elites, so we enter without reservation. The Sentries. We start off by using the Forge Potion, upgrading our hand and entering Calm. I decide to play Miracle early to get off a Letter Opener while we had the ability to do so. Turn 2, I did some calculations before sending everything into the front sentry, defeating it perfectly. We take 14 damage in return, manage to defeat the back sentry taking a further 8 damage, then finish the final sentry after that. The rewards for winning here were solid. 30 gold, a Whetstone relic upgrading 2 strikes, and a draw potion. I've never really noticed the amount of gold given by enemies, but with this challenge, it's been kind of fun too. On to the next rest site, and upgrading the Vigilance was of course our next priority, shifting the 8 block it gave to 12. We pick up the boot before approaching our first merchant of the run. Thread and Needle, the fan, both too expensive, and if you didn't know, because we see them here, they won't appear again. I cannot complain though, we get an extra life. This right here is what I would consider the holy grail for challenge runs, and we don't regret removing a card either. Moving on. We erupt into floor 11 slime, not even allowing him to split. He leaves us 19 gold and a regen potion. The living wall allows us to upgrade a defend, and the ooze gives us an eternal feather in exchange for 7 HP. Another elite is up next, Gremlin Knob. Speed would be crucial here. I used our draw potion before sending 3 strikes on our first turn. I didn't hesitate in entering Wrath Stance, happily taking the 12 damage, knowing that the following turn would be to his downfall. Reward wise, we pick up 28 gold and the blue candle. I have to say these relics were leaving much to be desired. But the final rest site of Act 1 was now upon us. We lick our wounds in preparation before the boss of Act 1. Our opening hand gives us... excuse me. Let's try that again, shall we? We lick our wounds before the boss of Act 1. It was now time. Time for slime. Slime time! Our opening hand gives us the ability to get into Calm and strike. We would have to play this fight smart, he says, entering Wrath the following turn without Vigilance being guaranteed. We get lucky, allowing us to both push the slime just before his cutoff and only take 23 damage instead of the 70. Phew. The race for eruption was now on. We focus on clearing the slime cards, and thankfully, just before his attack, we find it with 2 strikes to boot, bringing him down to 35 HP. The split slimes have 58 damage incoming. We counter with an iron wall defense, hitting them both with letter opener in the process. We enter Wrath Stance one more time before defeating the boss of Act 1. 98 gold was a welcome sight for sure. Next up is the relics. Pandora's box is not allowed. Ectoplasm wasn't considered due to the value of gold in this run, so I settled with Violet Lotus. It gives us an extra energy when we leave Calm Stance, and is a very valid relic in itself. Act 1 was now complete. Thinking of our deck, I was beginning to get concerned. If we didn't pick up some good relics soon, our death against the automaton would all but be certain. We check the map, being extra careful of the Flaming Elite, and begin our ascent of Act 2. The Shelled Parasite. This guy was tricky to say the least. His plated armor meant we needed to find the right time to stay in Wrath and when not to. But with my focus on the former, I make a massive mistake. Using our miracle for 1 plate of armor was not the correct play. At the very least, we hold off on entering Wrath for a few turns, get hit for 14, play Vigilance for calm before finally finishing him off. And next were the birds. We check the map and decide to drink our regen potion, hoping to gain optimal usage. Striking the front flappity flap gives Boot an unexpected moment of usefulness. Then it was Letter Opener's turn, while we fully defend the incoming attacks. I avoid getting baited by the temptation of Wrath before the birds return to their nest, leaving us with a useful potion. The ability to gain 12 block at a drop of a hat is a welcome addition indeed. Altar gives us max HP, the Forge upgrades a strike, and we only take 12 damage from the snake plant, managing our defense well. I contemplate the unknown event, but move to healing 6 HP and upgrading another defend instead. Enloth was up next. He offers us a trade, one of our relics for his gift, which triples the chance of finding rare cards. Yeah, not really something we could use, but I couldn't help but smile at the whetstone exchange. It had already upgraded 2 of our cards, so was simply a placeholder now, right? I'll feed you. Enjoy, I guess. Moving on to the next rest site, and the final strike of the deck gets upgraded. Floor 26 gives us a guaranteed relic. I was praying for a good relic. Heck, even if it's just usable, I'd be happy. Here we go.
Wow.
Next up was the Centaurian and his sister. We begin by sending 2 strikes into the night and defend, blocking the lady's 8 damage. Eruption falls onto our lap next, where having the miracle still in hand allows us to keep our head. No amount of healing is going to save your brother from this hand. 1, 2, 3, kapow. And to not let her feel left out, play the identical hand on her too. They somehow only had 11 gold to offer us as we move into the next encounter. The Shelled Parasite brings a friend along to the fight. We had to be very careful here. When we defeat the mushroom, he applies 2 vulnerable to us, and if we are in Wrath Stance when that happens, that could give the Parasite a potential of dealing 72 incoming damage to us. With this in mind, we stay very clear of Eruption for the time being, getting the fungi down to 4 HP. Next, we prioritize defense, before Risotto. Now was a waiting game of clearing our debuffs, doing a stance dance, and finally taking him down once and for all. A very difficult decision now laid before us. 3 question mark events, or a merchant and 2 combats. It really was a 50-50 situation. The combats will be mostly useless, but with 299 gold, the merchant is very appealing. The 3 question marks could be anything, and wait, what's that smell? No, it couldn't be. I head to the merchant's quarters, and there it was. Lee's Waffle. Spanning 4 different challenge videos, this waffle continued making its appearance, and every time we had a reason or another to skip it. Not today, Lee. Not today. Against all logic, reason, and sanity, the waffle gets procured. Right, moving on. The Sentry and Sphere combo bring us back to reality. An offensive opening hand removes the former enemy, and whilst we do take 16 damage here, they go down without problem. The same story cannot be said for the next duo. From scaling attacks to hand block, this fight needed to end quickly. We draw potion, finding our vigilance, which allows us to take down the cultist on turn 1. We use our miracle to completely block the Chosen's 20 damage here as well. Triple strike next, block her attack, and before the 54 damage could go through, we struck victory. As I approached the final rest site of the act, things weren't looking so hot, particularly in our relic department. I was struggling to find a line where the boss gets defeated here, but let's save the worrying for later and upgrade one of our last defends instead. Now for the boss of Act 2, Automaton. We waste no time getting into Wrath form, dealing 27 damage while he summons his orbs. I sent out strikes to the front one, block potion to partially mitigate his 28 swing and defeat it shortly after. We deal with the back one, much the same, and now 40 damage is coming our way. It has 273 health. A hyper beam was next. Triple strike brings it down to 219. Maybe this is our first unsuccessful challenge run. I mean, we can't beat them all. It's okay to fail on a challenge, right? But not this one. We bring it down to 192 before our fairy in a bottle protects us from being annihilated. While it stood dazed, we erupt, strike, strike. 138 left. 52 damage is coming our way. Not yet. We strike, strike, pray for gosh darn miracle and remain vigilant, blocking his attack. 3 more strikes. It still wasn't enough. 32 incoming, we have 13 health. We play every single card in our hand and just scrape enough to block and stay alive. We need the perfect hand. Strikes and eruptions, please. With 6 health remaining, the boss of Act 2 goes down. Oh man, I think we've earned a good relic or two, don't you? We pick up the Swift Potion, and now for the relics. Runic Dome and Philosopher's Stone are first considerations. We can't play without knowing enemy intents, and adding strength to their attacks isn't too bad here, but more control from the Runic Pyramids, even with only 10 cards in our deck, could prove vital. For the first time on the channel, we have the Time Eater as our final boss. Going through Act 3's map, my main priority was merchants. We needed at least 1 or 2 strong relics, as without them, there was little possibility of success here. 3 were identified, and thus our climb began. The Darklings. Even playing every defend in one turn, it still wasn't enough to mitigate all of their damage. But well-timed stance dancing ultimately led to their coagulation, and our pickup of 19 gold. Law 36 greets us with a singular Orb Walker. We cancel our Wrath Thoughts and simply defend the first turn. As with Runic Pyramid, the goal would be to Vigilance first before sending in the Strike Force, which we pull off, taking only 5 damage in return. Next were the shapes. Why does it always seem to be the shapes that cause my biggest mistakes? It starts off just fine, outside of the miracle play. Turn 2, we defeat the exploding orbs, and then instead of triple defending in Wrath, we strike to take 7 completely unnecessary damage. Then I strike again. Well, at least I play Vigilance, but I take 11 more damage. If we look at this hand, it's clear we will defeat him only requiring 2 strikes, with extras in hand plus spare energy too. A reminder that if you catch yourself playing like Sonic the Hedgehog, maybe take a breath and slow down. Alright, it's time for some helpful, run-altering relics. I can feel their presence drawing us in. What in the train of monsters is this? I can't spend 150 gold on potion belts, nor puzzle. And Prismatic is as much use as a searing blow in an Ironclad run. At the minimum, I pick up a Dex potion. We then pass by a card sticking out of a wall. We take a quick rest before being greeted by yet another merchant. Praise the Lord, Pennib! Every 10th attack we play deals double damage. Okay, we went from having absolutely no shot at winning to a slither of a Snacko's chance, and that is all we need. We have 2 more guaranteed relics. Before that, let's upgrade our final defense. Now onto acquiring the first one. Elite start with 25% less HP. We have an elite coming up, so value? We skip the rest site before the shapes return. I thought I took extra care to not misplay, but turn 2, I play a defend. Turn 3, I play another one. And finally, turn 5, I strike, allowing the spike to deal 5 damage to us. The reward was 18 gold. With the now included value of Preserved Insect, the Reptomancer becomes a lot more manageable. A beautiful turn 1. Entering Wrath Stance, clearing both daggers. We start making the correct plays here. I defend rather than defeating the new dagger. Her following turn will be a summon, which means no damage will be incoming. With our mind fully open once again, we finish the dagger, defend once more, and with a calculated pen nib, ensure her defeat. I get having a few low rolls, but being given a shovel now is like the equivalent of having a wet slimy tuna slapped right across our face. The dexterity potion was good, at least. As despair continued rearing its ugly head, a trusting friend was there to embrace us, for it was time. Time for slime! You always know how to put a pep back into my step, Slime San. He doesn't even get a chance to split. That's how supportive he was. Gambling Chip wasn't useless, and that, in the current climate, meant it was a great sight to see. The final merchant now greeted us. I wanted to keep faithful to the inclusion of a potion card, so we exchanged the Dexterity potion. That was silly, right? Nunchaku is a solid relic here, thanks to Runic Pyramid giving us hand size potential, so it gets picked up. Approaching the last rest site, 27 extra health would be helpful here, but we have a shovel, and it would feel kind of bad to not use it at least once. The relic we dug up was Stone Calendar. After 7 turns, it activates, dealing 52 damage to all enemies. A good relic to have by our side, for sure. With 64 health and a roller coaster of emotions, the final boss was now upon us. I remind myself that there's a giveaway after this fight. And with that, entered floor 50, the Time Eater. I choose to keep our hand before using our 1 potion card of the run to pick up the Deva form. This gives us an extra energy at the start of each turn. We then use the Dexterity potion and suit up, fully defending his first attack. Next up, we had to make a big decision. Do we miracle and defend here? Usually the answer would be yes, but with his clock showing 7, I wanted the ability to play more cards next turn, in case we needed. So I choose to take the 7 damage instead. He prepares his defense. We unleash an attack with his clock activating strength. That's a lot of damage. We strike 3 times with a pen nib too, before leaving Wrath Stance and defending the majority of his attack. The clock strikes again, adding 2 more strength to his arsenal. We continue our dance of strikes and defense. Just as we get him low, he heals back up to 228 health, preparing his final form. 57 damage was incoming, and no, I wasn't in Wrath form. With the ability to only play 5 cards, I make a massive mistake. The boss has 20 block. Instead of pure defending, I enter Wrath and strike, dealing 0 damage. Realizing my mistake, I quickly switch to Vigilance and double defend. He gains another 2 strength, now dealing 66 damage. A foolish mistake on my behalf. We play our entire hand, mixing survival and attacks. 1 damage gets through. We have 1, maybe 2 turns at best here. This attack will finish us. No calculations or math will be able to save us. We had to win. Here and now. I erupt into Wrath Stance and use all of our strikes. But it wasn't enough. We got so close to beating this challenge, but the difficulty was just too much. And with 28 failed attempts behind us, another gets added. Wait a second. We kept the draw potion. And with only 8 health remaining, we take him down. I want to take a moment to thank Demi for such a fun challenge and collaboration this week, and thank you for watching the whole video. I hope these challenges are as fun to watch as they are to make. I'm going to be giving away a copy of Slay the Spire 2 for its release, as a small token of thanks for the great feedback and support you've been giving me. I really am grateful. The rules are simple. Comment on this video and that's it. You don't need to like, share, or subscribe to the channel. Those things should only be done if you want to and enjoy the videos. Just comment below. I'll be giving an extra copy away to a random member that comments as well, just as another thanks. Both winners will be announced in June 14th's video. This is my first time doing a giveaway, so I hope this is all okay. There's only one thing left, and that is to, as always, stay hydrated.